Jarl of Goats here with Tides of Change, and thank you for watching episode 1 of our campaign, Ashes to Ashes. And if you haven't seen Session 0, definitely go and watch that. I'd like to go ahead and reintroduce our characters. We have Chris, who plays Damjam. Chris, you missed last episode. How's it going?
Good. I play Damjam, the little squib pilot who was missing because he had another mission, i.e. that I was at a kick-ass rock concert with my middle boy, so celebrating his birthday. So all good.
Were they a good jizz band, or was it a band I'd know?
Hailstorm and Shinedown.
Hell yeah. I just imagine you going, sorry guys, I can't make it to the game, and then you get to the concert.
Oh no. Needless to say, I hurt my neck having too much fun there, so...
He's like, come on, son, this is called the mosh pit. No.
Oh, he knows about the mosh pit. His mom's loves the mosh pit more than I do, so...
Oh my gosh.
How old is he?
He turned 4 that night, so... It was his 4th concert. He's been to 4 different shows.
I remember taking my son to a concert when he was 4, and it was the Wiggles. Turns out I like them more than he does. No. All right, so we're going to turn it over to Nate. Nate, how's it going?
Not bad.
I hear you, Nate.
You hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm playing guitar. A human cyborg. So yeah, I'm glad to have Damjam here. We're gonna probably have some unique, interesting experiences going on here.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and cut over to Grod.
God.
I call you every name under the sun. Grade, Grod, Pod.
Yeah, I think you put on Facebook like Grad or something.
Grad. Congrats,
Yeah.
Grad.
Yeah, but I'm Tom. I'll be playing Grad, the hard drinking, hard living Tagruda thief.
My favorite kind.
I know.
Okay, so we're going to take off right where the title crawl left off. You see the words fading off into space, and then the camera pans down, showing the surface of Tatooine and its moons orbiting. In the distance, you see the Star's End leaving the planet, breaking the atmosphere. Now, on board the Star's End, we did have an encounter where you guys had a proximity alert on your console. But for cinematic reasons, we're going to play the ships arriving and passing right next to you, as the tide change was that they were heading to the hospital. So the Star's End breaches the atmosphere, its shields glowing as it's coming through the G-forces of leaving the planetary shielding. And all of a sudden, we actually also see a Lambda-class shuttle and several TIE defenders come out of hyperspace right in Tatooine orbit. And they pass right beside you guys. Not slowing down, not opening up comms, just ignoring you, heading straight for the planet. The shuttle goes into the atmosphere with the TIE defenders. Their shields flare up as they encounter the G-forces, and the screen wipes to the hospital down at the surface. TIE defenders make a pass by, screaming as their engines are like, ow, right overhead. The shuttle hovers right above the hospital, folding its trifold wings and lowering as the desert sands below across the horizon. Meanwhile, at the loading dock, as the shuttle situates itself and steam pours from its landing vents, a ramp protrudes from the backside. Standing before the shuttle is a small squad of stormtroopers and a bunch of Imperial officers in brown armor. They look nervous. The ramp hits the ground, and more stormtroopers exit from inside the shuttle, joining the ranks of those that were stationed on Tatooine. Immediately after, naval officers in gray uniforms come down the ramp, chattering amongst themselves, looking at datapads. The officers in the brown suits salute and wait patiently for acknowledgement. One of the Imperial officers dismisses the others in the gray as they filter out to the hospital and steps forward to the officers dressed in the brown. He addresses them gruffly. So, you have the back-to-tank installed? One of the officers in a brown uniform kind of... Yes, sir. We have it installed, but there was a minor complication. However, we have We have since fixed it. Good. He motions to the ramp, and you hear the noise of a grav lift hovering on metal. Behind it, 2 technicians push this grav lift down, and you see a slab of carbonite coming down the ramp. All of the officers, the technicians, the carbonite, they all filter into the hospital, and the stormtroopers follow suit. They go through the corridors of the hospital, checking ID, handing over their credentials to the Imperial staff there, and being finally led into a main chamber that's got several hospital beds with wounded officers who had been injured in the exchange when they were kicked out of Mos Espa. Sitting on one of the hospital beds near the Bacta tank is a white cloth, and the white cloth is actually covering the a body. The officer in the gray nods towards it out of curiosity and raises an eyebrow. The officer in the brown goes, well, yes, after we installed the Bacta tank, we decided to treat our most wounded, but apparently there was a short in the circuitry, and unfortunately the Bacta tank killed our Moff. The officer in the gray uniform raises a brow but says nothing, and the brown-coated officer raises his hands and goes, listen, we have it all fixed. We've fixed it. It appeared to be a interference in the wiring. Maybe it got loose in transit, but everything's optimal. We've tested on several other soldiers, and it seems to be working just fine. He nods. Good. As they say that, the carbonite slab is pushed by the technicians over to the Bacta tank and then stood up, almost like a dolly at a 30-degree angle. The camera gets a good view of what looks like an older gentleman who's been frozen in the carbonite, contorted into a position of extreme pain. And the only thing that they recognize from seeing this gentleman is that there is a square rank pip on his chest with the rank Grand Moff. And at that point, camera fades in to the crew of the Star's Inn traveling through hyperspace. So, here, after the battle, decides he's going to retire to his room and communicate with Cooper, but he does leave with Damjam and Grodd a file that he had gotten that he would like them to take a look at. And he explains to them, this is from Kyle Katarn. He handed it to me into the bar, Grodd. I'd like you to take a look at it. I hand it to you because we all know Viatar gets really excited about these things, and I'd rather have one of us there with him.
And I take the file. Is Vitar like anywhere near? Does he see it?
Oh yes, he
exchange?
here definitely said it right in front of you two.
All right, so I don't try to hide it then. And yeah, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it in the ship's computer myself and see what it says, I guess.
Well, it's heavily encrypted.
Well, then I guess I'm just gonna hang on to it then.
So Viatar, you see the encryption error on the screen.
Yeah. God, what you got there?
Nothing much. Nothing I don't think we should be messing with. It's best we get this back to Cooper. It's if we mess with it, I think he'd be a little upset.
A little upset. Like more than he was the fact that he missed that conversation with Kyle.
Yeah, I think this has to do with that.
Ah. We can smooth it over.
If it was anybody else's, I'd say let's go for it, but I'm
Yeah,
not
you
exactly
got
wanting
pupils? Come on.
When it comes to Cooper, yeah.
All of a sudden,
Bottom line.
you guys hear a voice interrupt your conversation. And it's Bardorak, the Wookiee, standing behind you. In his hand, he's got a box of circuits. And he just is like, reaches into his satchel. And for anyone who speaks Shruwook, he's mentioning that, oh, I have the decoder for that. And he pulls it out of his satchel and motions to Grodd.
I look at Vitar and Damjam, I say, well, what do you guys
Damjam's
want
not
to
there.
do? Oh, that's right.
He misspoke. So,
No, actually, Grodd goes to look at Damjam, and it's just an empty pilot seat, and immediately he's like, oh.
Get all sad. But I looked at Vitar and I say, well, what do you think? It looks like you might have a chance here.
Vitar's like, decoder message.
All right, so I take the decoder from the Wookiee there, and yep, connect the two.
Now, this is going to take a computers check, so if you would like to suggest that Viatar handles it, if you think his computers might be better, you can. But before you guys check it, the Wookiee mutters something about how several of these systems are fried and turns on his heel and leaves to go repair them.
How good is this Wookiee?
Oh, hey, remember, we did a little bit of extracurricular flying.
He narrows his eyes at you and shakes his head, mutters something about how he should have been the pilot, and then continues on his way.
Like, so Viatar switches to so he can speak in Wookiee. He's like, I offered you, and you walk away a fourth time.
That's when the R5 unit that's stationed nearby decides to chime in, and he's like, wah, 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 wah.
Like, okay.
Okay, Grad butts in and says, enough arguing. And he hands the decryptor and the file to Vitar and said, do what you do best.
Now, you do have a choice. You could plug it into the ship's computer. However, if there happens to be a virus on board or any kind of, black ice or any kind of security on this encryption, it could harm the ship. And you know the ship's system strain is suffering from your latest faux pas. But your R5 unit has a holo projector.
I was just going to use the spare data pad.
You can use your data pad, but if it's a holo projector thing, and if there's a virus, it'll tank your data pad. And as long as you're okay with that, you just might have to procure a new one.
Well, I have a spare data pad, and then I have the one that's built into my.
That's true, yeah. He just opens up a trench coat, and all these TV screens fall out, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got this."
Do you want the small screen? Do you want the big screen?
Yeah, so I'm gonna need a hard check from you, but before we do that, I'm going to need everybody present to roll a destiny. Now, I'm also going to roll Here's Destiny, since he's going to be a little late. And how you roll destiny... Oh, you guys got it.
Yep.
That you remember.
Hey, Lakeside again. 2 for 2 weeks.
Did I pick up the right one to roll? Where'd it go?
Nice.
Dang.
I'm gonna force player update real fast.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. All right, now Damjam, in order to
Sweet.
Oh yeah, dang man, you guys aren't nice. This is not how this game's supposed to go. 3 and 1.
What you talk about last
All
game
right.
was pretty nice.
Who wants to? Yeah, I'll roll here. Okay, guys. Here comes Here's roll.
Hold my breath,
Show
hold my
me the
breath.
money. Oh well, okay, I can deal with that. So I've got 2 dark side. We have 3 light. I'll do a force player update just to make sure. There we go. All right, so everybody's sheet should show. Now, anytime you use a light side, or you just have to click the Use the Light Side button. And then when you go to do your difficulty roll in your chat, you can upgrade your side, which is changing a green to a yellow, or you could downgrade their side, which adds difficulty to, their roll. So you just have to tell me what you're doing. If you want to downgrade one of, my dice, I just have to do it on my end. But for the computer check, Viatar, it's going to be a hard, and I am not going to upgrade it.
Okay.
So I need 3 purple on your side.
Okay. Going 3 purple, and let me double check on one thing before we roll this.
Yeah, and then You know what? Let's throw in a boost die because you guys aren't exactly in a hurry. You've got plenty of time to take your time decrypting this. It's going to be 3 or 4 days before you even get to the space station Paradise. So go ahead and add a blue die on your side.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is down on your skills tab. If you click skills right below your die roller, just click on the computers button, and that should take care of it.
Okay.
And the ship is clear of pool, and so is my dice pool. So, and anytime you want to reset your dice pool, it's a little recycle symbol next to the D20 there.
Got it. And yeah, I'm just double checking. I had.
Oh, you might have some equipment to help you out.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything there.
I do not mind that at all. Anytime you guys want to look for equipment, you just let me know.
Do I have any equipment? I was like, no, don't have any equipment. Great. No, just kidding. All right, so computers check and roll it.
Oh, well, so it's a wash. You did get one advantage. And since I did give you the decoder, I am going to say that you are able to decrypt the message, but you're not able to view it by the time you reach Paradise. Does that sound pretty good?
All right. Well, then I'd like to do one other thing. I just double check it for viruses and the security issues before we get there. So
yeah, okay. Do you want to say that was your advantage? Is that you found out that it was clean? Yeah, we'll say that. You find out that there are no viruses on it. I'll even give you the information that you find out it's a rebellion encryption.
Okay.
But it's just not one you're familiar with.
I run a little line out to my external data pad.
Okay, so you copy
the video. I'm not downloading the video portion of it. I'm just downloading the text and the coding. So
yeah, so you copy the coding over. We're going to go ahead and screen wipe it. The camera pans out to the exterior of the ship as it's traveling through hyperspace, blasting through that classic blue tunnel, and then we're going to fade out. The camera fades in on the blue-green gas giant glowing fiercely in the black of space, and the space station Paradise comes circling around the orbit, and it just looks like a small dark shape, even though it's a rather large ring with its own atmosphere and planetary supply. And the camera pans down onto Cooper's tower, where Cooper stands in that room. And if we remember how it was described, he's got a hollow desk, he's got a bar on the side, and he has the blue-green marble etched in a mosaic on the floor. And he's reviewing some paperwork on his desk when Dent comes through the open door and is like, "Sir, it appears that Damjam has arrived from his mission and is seeking an audience." And he nods, "Send him in." And Dent just kind of waddles out. Damjam, you're down in the lobby. There is a secretary there. You know her as Constance, and she's writing down on a piece of paper your information or credentials or typing it into a computer. She sent Dent up to let Cooper know that you were here, and you and the businessman that you've come to know as Nick is standing to the side of you. He's a human dressed in diplomatic clothing, a dark shade of maroon, which looks like something he's brought from his home planet of Corellia. And he's gotten pretty friendly with you, and he really respects your piloting skills, so he definitely looks at you more like an equal, whereas opposed to the beginning of the mission, you were definitely beneath him. But you pulled off some crazy stunts navigating your way through all those black holes.
Okay. So, Damjam's... Now, are we talking, or are we just sitting there waiting patiently?
Oh, absolutely. You guys are definitely talking.
Damjam will look at Nick and say, "Well, it appears that everything's been successful on this mission."
Oh, yes, very much so. He holds up a plastic card with all the details.
Damjam will look at the card and goes, That ride was a little rough. I thought for a minute there we were gonna lose that ship, but man, that thruster boost right there at the crucial moment just pushed us right out.
You could tell your technical jargon just kind of goes over his glazed eyes, and he's like, yeah, absolutely, it was Wizard. And he's just nodding to himself, like, and then he turns to the secretary and goes, wow, beautiful day. She looks up at him and she's like, yes, with an atmosphere that's artificial, powered by a gas giant, I guess every day is a beautiful day, isn't it? He clears his throat, messes with his collar, and then Dent is approaching out of the turbo lift, and he's like, oh, yes, and steps away from the two of you. He has a conversation with Dent and then looks at you and motions you forward.
And Damjam will make his way towards Cooper's office.
All right, so the two of you go into a turbo lift, and you go about 8 stories up. It's a very short tower. The atmosphere on this artificial ring's not very large. As you're going up this glass turbo lift, you can see the agricultural jungles on one side of you, and you can see the city sprawling on the other side, as Cooper's made it a point to situate his headquarters in between the borders of agriculture and industry, because you cannot have one without the other, and he knows that. So you arrive at the top of the elevator. The turbo lift opens up, beautiful glass windows on this sky deck, and there's a door to the office that is open on the left-hand side. Through the office door, you can see an eager Cooper, a dark-skinned man with black hair, streaked back, silver streaks. He's wearing a brown uniform with a blue cape, and he's got his hands behind him, and he's pacing nervously as he waits, glancing over at the turbo lift and smiling once he sees you guys step off.
Damjam, knowing the open door policy that Cooper has, just walks right in.
You know, that's funny. You remembered that, but the other guys, they forgot that. And it sat outside for quite some time. Yeah, so you walk right in, and immediately Cooper grabs some bottles off the bar and starts filling them with alcohol, and he's like, Damjam! Some mighty fine flying to see you back in one piece. And the ship, from what I hear, didn't look that bad.
It got close a couple times, but you know me. I pull it through at the last minute.
That's right. He looks over at the businessman, taking a shot, setting it down, and refilling it. So what news do you have? What's your briefing? He kind of looks to you, Damjam, because you and him have better clientele than this businessman does. Nick.
Damjam will say, well, it appears that the mission came off without a hitch. We negotiated. Well, Nick here did most of the negotiation, but it appears that we got almost everybody we needed to get.
Cooper's face darkens, and he looks very confused. He goes, everybody? You were only there after one target.
And Damjam will look to Nick to say, so why don't you explain this to Cooper?
Nick goes, listen, sir, it's great news. The Imperials were not interested in giving us the Twi'lek girl back. I believe their words were, she's in such poor condition, they're afraid that we'll run off to the media and advertise, oh, look what the Imperials do to their prisoners. But they are willing to give us 35 well-known traitors and rebel sources in exchange for the good deeds you did by providing them the Bacta tank in Tatooine. And he's looking all proud with himself. He reaches over for a shot and holds it up to Cooper. Goes to take a drink. Cooper just smacks it right out of his hand, and the glass shatters against the wall. Then takes both arms and sweeps the bar clean of bottles and shot glasses. And is like, no. You were there for one target. You were there for the young Twi'lek. It is very important that I have the young Twi'lek. It is not important that I have a bunch of washed-up traitors. And what do you think I even want with the rebellion? I'm not going to be going to 1 or 2, you know. So I really need you to stay focused, and I really need you to just do what I ask next time. And he takes the plastic card and just tears it right in half and then throws it onto the bar.
And Damjam will just shake his head, knowing that, you know what, it's not wise to piss off Cooper at this point. And he'll look to Nick and goes, you might want to make a point to step out of the office right now.
Nick, although looking at you like an equal's, like, kind of disregards you with, you don't have the right to tell me what to do. Would you like to charm him into leaving, coerce him into leaving?
Get him down.
Damjam will say, you know, I've known Cooper for years now, and I think it would be wise on your part to, you know, just leave and give him a moment to relax, figure things out. You know, you look like a smart businessman. So, yeah, I would just kind of kindly thank him for his time, thank him for his drinks, and kindly leave the office. And I will make it a charm.
Fantastic. You know what? That was very well done. I'm going to give you a boost die for that.
Okay.
So when you go to the skills tab of your sheet, right above that is the dice pool. So you just need to click the up arrow on the boost die there.
And difficulty?
His difficulty, because he is a diplomat, is going to be 1 purple, 1 red.
All right. And then charm. Where's my charm? There she is.
And if you'd love to give me one of those light side points, I would not mind at all.
Nah, we'll try it. Damjam's a little bit of a charmer.
Oh!
Boom!
Nailed it! Alright, so the threat is that whatever rapport you had with Nick is out the window now. He is offended, but at the same time he sees the logic in what you're saying, and he goes, fine. Should you be needing anything else, Cooper, you can contact me personally. And he turns on his heel and storms out.
And as after Nick finally gets out the door, Damjam will look at Cooper and go, what an ass.
Cooper just kind of snorts like, pfft. Yeah. Runs his hands through his hair. He's like, man, we gotta get her.
So are we going to keep this from her from the time being until we can figure out what we're going to do?
He turns to you and he goes, you don't even know, do you?
Damjam's like, I have no clue. But he knows how Cooper pretty much operates, being the captain of one of his ships. So he trusts Cooper enough to know that Cooper's not going to make a bad judgment as far as, and if he's leaving stuff back from Damjam, there's probably a good reason why.
You know what? I think I'm going to have you roll another charm. I'm going to give you a blue die again. And this one I'm only going to do it on 2 purple. I'm not going to make you challenge his full political might. Just because he should keep it secret, but he really, really is fond of Damjam.
Okay.
Nice. He's like, Damjam, sit down, and he motions over to part of the blue mosaic, and it opens up kind of like an iris. He goes, psst, and a small chair comes up. He didn't offer you a seat at the bar. He actually offered you one of the meeting recliners.
Okay, so Damjam, in his short demeanor, but he's kind of spritey. He moves fairly quick. He'll move quickly up and hop into the seat.
So yeah, you hop right into the seat, get yourself situated, and he leans against the counter on his rear end, folding his arms, kind of trying to figure out how to say it. You remember 4 years ago when Here lost his daughter to the pirate raid on that ship that was coming back?
And Damjam will think for a little bit and go, yeah, I think I do.
Well, the truth is, he didn't lose his daughter. She was taken to the spice mines of Kessel. Viatar found out for me. Unfortunately, however, he and I both thought it was not wise to inform Here of this, or his wife, because surely the two of them would board a spaceship immediately and try to rescue her, which would have been foolhardy at best.
Wise decision.
It's important we get her back.
Agreed. Because her's no good to us if he's too focused on his daughter. If he finds out that she's still alive.
Listen, the trouble is now that the Imperials know we're sniffing around here, they may try to up the ante, and I'm not willing to do any more than I've already done. Back-to-tank was quite expensive, especially during these trying times. Listen, you deserve to retire to the wingside bar down in the hangar and wait for your friends. For your work, I'm going to give you 500 credits. And he slides a cred chip over. I know that's 100 more than we negotiated, but I think you deserve it.
And Damjam will slide it to him and goes, "That's more than generous for you. Thank you, Coop. I appreciate it."
Yeah, so he kind of just turns towards the window, looking at the gas giant, reaches over and presses a button, and then the dark blinds blot the light out. And he just kind of hangs his head.
And Damjam will hop out of the seat, make his way towards the door. He'll turn back to look at Cooper and think for a moment, turn around and head towards the bar.
As you're heading towards the bar, you're heading back to the turbolift to go downstairs so that you could cross the market and get to the hangar. You see this black ship approach very closely to the sky deck and just goes as it flies by, and it rattles the windows. Camera fades over onto the star's end, where the Wookiee who's sitting in the co-pilot seat is gripping the leather tightly and looking over at Viatar like,
What? You mean I should have requested a flyby? Yeah, forget it.
Grodd, what's your reaction during all of this?
Groud would probably be used to Viatar's flying. You know, most of the time he's flying with Damjam, but Viatar would probably fly, you know, his fair share too when Damjam, you know, needed a break or something. So he would probably just be sitting back, relaxing. He knows he's more than a capable pilot.
Excellent. So you're just kind of relaxing in the chair. What's your reaction to the panicked Wookiee who is now screaming his head off?
I just reach up and I imagine I'm sitting behind him, and I just reach up and I say, "Nothing to worry about. This is what he does. Don't worry, nothing will happen."
And you're like scratching his neck or something?
I was just patting him on the shoulder.
All right, he looks back at you and he's just like, and then like looks sheepishly to the side window. And the R5 unit kind of comes right into the cockpit, pulls up behind one of the chairs, and he's like, stating all of the flight regulation laws that you just broke on the station itself. Starts printing out a little ticket of all of the infractions that you could have accumulated had you been stopped by hangar patrol.
Vitar looks over and goes, "That's an awfully short list. You sure that's everything?"
And it snips and falls to the ground. The Wookiee picks it up and just goes, I just imagine it looks like he's opening up a fruit by the foot, like he's just peeling all the paper out. So yeah, the ship comes around. Immediately you get flashing from the hangar control.
This is the Star's End. Requesting landing.
Oh, you're actually going to request landing this time. That's great. And you can see this frazzled Starship comms as he's sitting there trying to negotiate all the traffic that was in the way. He's like, everybody get out of the way. You see all these delivery craft pulling to the sides. small freighters that are bringing in loads for other ships have to stop and bank up. A few of them actually almost intersect each other as you're just like right through the main thoroughfare. And he's like, well, you could slow down a little bit before you start burning the plating. And he cuts off, and you just, as he cuts off, you hear him go, open the doors, put shielders up immediately. Go now, now, now. And people are racing about the ship. And you see the shielding get reinforced at one of the bays. Past that, you see the Moldy Crow sitting off to one side. That is Kyle Katarn's ship. And you see a wide open space for you. And people are fleeing. Like all of the droids that are used to refuel craft, they are clearing an area for landing.
The Vitar flips over the comms, so he's projecting out, hey, where's everybody going? Come back here! And then he pulls in and lands the craft.
Yeah, you land the craft, and immediately all the droids that had slid to the side, a lot of them are like the pit droids from the old pod races. He's managed to scavenge a few of those. They're just kind of looking at each other like, wank, 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 and they grab a bunch of equipment, including a hose to refuel the ship, start running out. They get the hose right up to the ship before you even depart, and a little red light comes on the hose because the exterior of the ship is a little too warm from your entry. And they're like, tapping on the metal. The Wookiee gets up angrily. You can see that there are now like little claw marks in the chair where he had torn the fabric a bit, and he turns on his heel and heads for the landing ramp and just repeatedly hits the button as the ship's like and the landing ramp lowers. R5 just takes his position back into the side of the corridor, and you guys are free to depart.
And I say to Vitar, I say, they were expecting us. Maybe next time we use a recording of Damjam and we'll trick them.
Yep. We have a drop here. Hang on one moment. Let's see if we could get this Skype back online.
There he comes.
That was odd.
That was odd, but easy to fix. All right, so Damjam, what was your reaction to this entire scene?
Ship flying over? Damjam looks and watches as the ship's just barreling in. All this traffic's just scattering. And he looks down and he goes, one of two things are happening. Either those guys got some dumbass pilot to pilot my ship, or Vitar's flying that damn thing. He shakes his head, and as he's gonna make it. He was going towards the bar. Instead, at this point, he's gonna start heading towards the ship and mutters to himself, "They better not have done any major damage to the ship, or there's gonna be hell to pay."
What you see as you approach the ship is the landing ramp is coming down, and there's a Wookiee who's not even waiting for it to hit the ground. He's just ducking underneath, trying to squeeze out an opening that's far too small for him. And he's got a box of burnt circuitry, and he just looks back at the ship, raises his fist, and is like, woo, 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 and storms off towards the Moldy Crow.
Damjam watches this and goes, "What the hell?" And he'll make his way towards the ramp to see what the hell's going on.
Grodd, we'll say since you were in the back of the cockpit, and since you don't have to do the whole engine shutting down sequence, powering off the ship, you could be the first down the ramp when you see a very curious Damjam standing at the bottom of it.
I'll go up there and say, "Hey, Damjam, how was your mission?"
And Damjam goes, "Well, I guess good. I'm not quite sure."
Did you meet our new buddy there? He's real impressive. He's impressed with us. I think he can't wait to get back on a mission with us.
The Wookiee that just ran yelling and screaming with a bunch of burnt out circuitry?
Meanwhile, in the background, there's a few pit droids that run up to try to take his circuitry box, and he just punches one in the face and continues going on.
Yeah, he's a real cool guy, real cool under pressure, that one.
You ever seen the Wookiee use a pit droid for skipping? He's like,
He obviously wasn't our pilot, or your guys' pilot, was he?
No, engineer. Vitar was our pilot. Before
And-
you even asked, he did offer the Wookiee to pilot.
He goes, that crazy bastard Vitar. I keep telling him he doesn't need to approach so damn fast. Keep telling him slow down. We only fly fast when we're out of planet atmosphere. Oh well. How much damage is done to the ship?
Would you like to take a look at the ship?
Yeah, Damjam will be looking at the ship as
I
he's
start
talking with Grog.
explaining. We didn't do any damage. The pirates did all the damage.
Pirates.
Go ahead and roll me an average difficulty mechanics or an average difficulty perception. It's entirely up to you, Damjam.
Okay.
Yeah. Vitar's like, he taps on the comms to the ship. He's like, R5, hand Damjam the status update on the ship.
So R5's like, and like turns on its heel, and the third tripod leg pops out and gets stuck for a moment, and you see the droid like turning its head, and then it just bumps into the wall really hard, and then the third leg finally pops out. He wheels around in a 360, makes sure everything's working, goes whomp, 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 and then heads down the ramp towards Damjam. Nice, Damjam, nice. So Damjam, you happen to get a success. The ship looks like the exterior has suffered minor damage. Nothing that removing the plating and having it either flattened out or even just replaced won't fix. Your concern is that a lot of the exterior computers that you could pull down to check on the engine cores, it seems that there's some circuitry issues inside the ship, maybe some system strain that had damaged it. But as you're looking and crossing the back of the ship towards the front, you see firmly planted in the back is a tracking beacon, and it is active.
Grodd, what the hell is this tracking beacon doing on our ship?
I don't know. I didn't put it there.
The R5 unit is like, wah, 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 and starts spouting off a bunch of policies that you guys have violated by bringing a tracking beacon onto the station, and it starts spitting out a small strip of paper.
I said
Oh,
the
fine.
Wookiee was in charge when we delivered the shipment. We left him back with the ship.
Viatar, by now you could probably head down the ramp. The ship's definitely shut down.
He's turning off lights as he's moving down till he gets to the engineering and leaves the engineering lights on, figuring that Damjam's gonna want to do his own little like run through engineering anyway. So
Where did it come from?
it had to been put on a Tatooine. I'm thinking Black Sun Pirates. They weren't too happy with me.
Cooper's not going to be happy about this. You know this, right?
Well, could be worse. Man.
I'd like to. Grad will speak up and he'll say, "I don't think it was pirates. Pirates would steal or destroy. Pirates don't track."
Grod,
Like
could you roll
something else is going on.
a knowledge outer rim, and I'm going to give you a boost die for thinking of that, and I want you to do it against three per.
3 purple.
Yeah, it's a hard check. Just by looking at it, you're just trying to figure out who it might be from.
Outer rim, right?
Outer rim knowledge check. Yep. Oh my goodness. Am I ever going to win? All right. So you recognize this tracking beacon, and you have a flashback of Damjam flying a speeder with you and your family inside of it, and your grandfather looking over his shoulder and noticing a tracking beacon of the exact same make. And Damjam had to pull the speeder to the side, and your grandfather and father came out, plugged the tracking beacon off, threw it to the ground, and said, "You guys go ahead, we'll slow him down." And you kind of snap back to the present.
Hot.
So I point this out to these two. Yeah, I say, Damjam, that looks like the same tracking beacon that was on that speeder that my grandfather and father found as we escaped the first time.
Yeah, now that he says that, Viatar, actually, Grod, would you have shared, do people know of your backstory?
Yeah, I would imagine these guys,
Yeah.
the crew that I'm close to would know.
Viatar, you
yeah.
definitely know that this looks like a Tatooine make. Definitely some underworld technology.
Yeah, well, that was probably the reason why he spits off Black Sun at the first anyway, because everything to him is Black Sun, Black Sun this, Black Sun that. Anyway, so yeah, so Viatar's looking at it, seeing if there's a possible way he could short circuit the.
Yeah, why don't you give me a either a mechanics or a computers check? If you use computers, I'm going to give you an average difficulty. If you use mechanics, I'm going to give you a hard. Mechanics, however, if you succeed, you'll be able to see if there's any damage done to the ship.
Okay. So you said mechanics was a hard?
Mechanics is a hard because you're removing it without damaging the ship, and then computers is going to be an average because you're just basically like popping it off.
I could go either way. So let's all right, we'll do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say hard? Yeah, I'd like to upgrade that. I would like you to do 2 purple and 1 red. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Ignore that. I don't know why.
You feel like flipping dice or something? All right.
I accidentally used Damjam. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use the dark side. And then force sync the pool. There you go. So 4 light, 1 dark.
Okay, and so I need to go ahead and add. I need to put the dice pool in.
Now here's what you could do. You could manually do 2 purple. You could manually do 2 purple and 1 red, or what you could do is you could do the 3 purple,
and then upgrade it,
and then hit the upgrade up to 1. Yeah, because then what it'll do is it'll actually upgrade the check as the rules state it should. So make sure you do 3 purple though.
Okay.
And upgrade is up to 1 on the right hand side, and then you can just roll your mechanics and it'll automatically calculate it.
Right. Double check on that.
Oh, please fail. Please fail.
Can he use a light side?
Oh, absolutely. If you guys want to bring it back to me, you can hit the use light side button and you can upgrade your side.
I don't know. That's up to you.
Was that a yes from Damjam with a nod?
Yeah. Like, yeah, go ahead if you want to, man. Go ahead.
You do have 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'll quit waving it around in my face, would you? I mean, jeez.
Give them all to me, guys.
I precious. Okay, let's see. We need to.
And then you have to hit the use light side if you want to use it, and then and then just put an upgrade on your side.
Okay. All right, and that should.
And then you just roll mechanics. Oh my goodness!
I said I own it.
Okay, this is... You are able to remove it from the ship without even harming the ship, and as you do so, you realize that they had planted an explosive inside of it. A little tiny bit of a thermite explosive, so that it could punch a hole through a ship. So that if you removed it incorrectly, it would have blown you and part of the ship up. And it was placed right under the engines,
right,
so that it would rupture most of the ship. So, damn. I'm also going to say, with your advantage, you squeak the spot clean on the ship, and it just kind of sparkles. Yeah, it is still... I mean, you can disable it now, and it's still a fully functional tracking beacon if you want to take it apart.
Before I buff the spot, I run a scan on it, looking for any residual biomaterial or anything that might give me some idea of. We know it came from Tatooine, but I need to figure out if this is I might be able to track down whoever dropped this on me for next time. So,
well, I'm going to need you to roll a daunting perception check.
okay,
So 4 purple.
all right, okay.
And then make sure you actually hit the little recycle mark there on your dice pool, so it just resets everything. There you go. And I'm not going to give you advantages for your scanners because I think it's fair to make it daunting considering you just flew in hot and escaped hot.
Yeah, I was just considering that spot where I just pulled it off. That was where.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If you get this, man, I quit. I quit Star Wars.
I so hate Star Wars. You might want to look at your dice. Let's fix your dice roller. Okay.
Oh, for crying out loud. All right. You definitely take a strain for this.
Yeah.
It definitely weighed you down. But you succeed, and you've seen this biosignature before, and you kind of have a flashback of when you landed on Tatooine, and you saw all of those armored thugs standing around that one ship. And as you're recalling all of this, you're beginning to realize that it makes sense now. If this is a device from Tatooine, it could very well be from Grobo the Hutt.
I'm like, hey, Grob, that worm just keeps showing up over and over again. I deactivate the device and stash it.
Grodd has no idea you've made that connection, though.
No, that's all I tell him. I'm like, hey, sometimes the past likes to show up on and he's just grumbling to himself. He's like, I hate that.
Well, Grad would probably already think that it had something to do with Grabo the Hutt anyways.
Yeah.
So he would ask Vitar, he's like, once you disabled that thing, do you mind if I take it?
He pulls it back out of the satchel and he's like, here, just be careful right here. He was like, that's the thermite.
You say thermite and R5 goes wah 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 and starts spitting out more infractions for bringing on heavy explosives into the hangar bay.
R5, save the paper. You're going to be flying with us for a while. Just save the paper.
And Damjam, noticing how exceptionally well Vitar has done at this moment, sets up a credit chip for 100 credits. He goes, here, Cooper gave me this for a bonus. You deserve it. Plus, it looks like you've got enough infractions to worry about right now at this moment. So Damjam gives Vitar 100 credits.
Like,
Fantastic.
credits, infractions.
All right. So, yeah, you guys are back. The only thing that really needs to happen is reporting to Cooper.
All right.
Well, guys,
so he leaves off to go see his wife.
Yeah, I think at this point here, who's been witnessing the entire scenario remembers the surprise that his wife has, and he takes off to go see her.
All right. I'm like, hey, Grod, we go see Cooper?
Might as well.
Like, okay.
Quicker we see him, the quicker we can get to the bar. And you can get to your circuits and stuff. Imagine you're going to buy a lot with that 100 creds.
Oh.
Damjam says, well, while you guys are visiting with Cooper, I already met with him. So I'm going to check out the rest of the ship while you guys are gone. Check out my room. See how everything is. And I'll meet you guys back in the bar in about, say, what, an hour or so?
Yeah, sounds good.
Couldn't be that long. Vitar punches up, make sure that he's got the right com frequency to Damjam in case he's got any questions. Like, you need to get a hold of me. Just buzz me.
Okay. I may need to talk to you later. If I find anything wrong with the ship, I may call you down here to visit with me real quick before we go to the bar.
No worries.
All right.
So, Mike, Utah, let's get this over with, man.
All right, yeah, we're gonna start heading to Cooper's.
So the two of you walk towards the elevator to Cooper's place. Damjam steps up the ramp into the ship. You guys know the way. You cross the green, take the tram out to the market, cross over. The secretary's sitting there at the desk, and she looks up and she's like, "Grodd, you're back and successful, from what I hear."
Of course, I always come back to you.
She smiles and she's like, "You say that like it's a good thing." Listen, when do you want to go on that date?
Let me talk to Cooper first, and then I'll be back out. We'll figure something out. I might be free tonight.
Oh, that's good, because you're definitely going to need some money. So she hands over, or slides over these envelopes. One of them's for here, one of them's for Viatar, and one of them's for Grodd. And she's like, "There's your 350 cred sticks."
Okay.
Well, thank you.
And
Utah
then,
does this thing where he's like, "Beep," raise the cred stick, throws the empty one back on the desk.
she grabs it. She's used to it. Just puts it in a drawer so that she could use it later. Oh, and Grodd. She reaches under the desk and pulls out a small paper bag that has the unique shape of a flask of some sort.
I say, well, what's that?
She smiles and goes, "Hazard pay for flying with Viatar."
Oh,
Oh,
we don't want anything out.
so I take it you've flown with him before.
Nope, just watched other people die. And she turns around and continues her paperwork. Dent walks up and is like, "Good day, sirs. Welcome back. A mission well done, I hear. Jolly good. Why don't you come with me up to the sky deck?"
All right, following you.
Now, in case you guys don't understand, the reason why the protocol droids always have to go with you is they're the ones with the codes for the turbolift. No one else can activate them. That's why Kyle was sitting there like, "Why isn't this thing working?" So Dent walks with you guys into the turbolift and it takes off to top. We're going to cut back over to Damjam. Damjam, you get onto the ship and it smells like Wookiee swamp ass is really the only way I could describe it. It smells like a Wookiee was in a very hot environment for a very long time, got very sweaty, but overall, despite the initial damage reports that you see on the main console at the lift, it looks like he's patched up all of the panels. There's only a few systems that really need repaired. And in case you guys don't remember, we had 60% strain and the Wookiee repaired most of it. So ship's still got some system issues, but nothing too terrible. And as you're looking at the panel, R5 just kind of bumps into your leg and is like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah."
Well, R5, it looks like that Wookiee did a pretty decent job keeping this ship together. Take a little bit of work, but I think Vitar will get this ship back up and running as soon as he's done. Maybe we'll wait until tomorrow to do something about that. Actually, and as he's saying that, he will send a private message to Vitar thinking about what him and Cooper just talked about. And we'll say, as soon as you're done with Cooper, come down real quick. I just want to cover the repairs that need to be done.
Perfect. Do you want to head back to your quarters?
Yeah, I'm gonna head. Well, even though Damjam has quarters of his own that Cooper provides, Damjam prefers to stay on the ship mostly.
Oh, I imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
he likes
where
his
are your
cabin.
quarters? Are they in a cabin or do you sleep in the engineering?
No, Damjam has a section of quarters designated for him.
Yeah, so you've got like your own little
Like captain's area.
captain's area. Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent. So yeah, you walk through the small corridors. There's several rooms. You can smell that here had been meditating a minute ago because his incense is coming from his room, and it's kind of a reprieve from the Wookiee locker room smell.
Yes.
But you open your door just fine, and you see that one of the panels in the floor, which is right above one of the landing gear struts, is open. You can actually see the ground of the hangar below you. It looks like something opened one of the maintenance hatches and climbed through one of the landing gear struts.
All right. Seeing that, Damjam's gonna just look around and see what's going on in his cabin.
All right, so you look around, you kind of peek into your cabin. The place is torn apart. It looks like your bedding's kind of been ruffled through. Anything that you've had on your... Did you have anything fragile that you were proud of?
No, anything that's what Damjam uses his room for, that Cooper provides, is anything of any value he keeps there. Basically, his cabin's just his sleeping area, relaxation area, where he eats, sleeps, reads, whatever he does. But yeah, anything of any value is up in his room.
So your eyes see the mess on the floor and pan up, and there's a Trandoshan standing there with a rifle pointed at you. And he's like, "Where's Grodd?" We're going to cut over to the two of you standing in Cooper's office, and he's congratulated you on a job well done. And asks you if there's anything else that he can do for you.
Hey, Cooper, you do realize that back to tank went to some Imperials, right?
His face kind of reddens, and he's like, "Unfortunately, but even they need back to tanks to help the people on the planet." Their hospital was taken down by the onslaught, and from my research, they did treat anyone and everyone.
Okay. By the way, he hands him the data pad. Like, this was from what was his name, Rod?
Kyle.
Oh, yeah, Kyle. There. This was from Kyle.
So he plugs it into a small holo projector, and the scene cuts in, and it looks like it's from a helmet cam. But you see a bunch of soldiers following each other, and they're tapping each other on the shoulders as they clear hallways to make sure everything's okay. And they move into this small docking room, open the doors, and they see a crate in the middle of the room that's open. And inside is several pieces of dark armor or dark trooper plating lined up in a foam, kind of a protective case, like you would see little gaming figurines placed in. It's all perfectly cut for each piece of armor. It looks like it's straight off the Imperial factory's floors. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And they pick it up. They're like, "Command, are you getting this?" And you hear radio come over the headset like, "Yes, I'm getting this." He's like, "It's odd. This is almost like that dark trooper armor." And then there's a ping behind him, like ting, 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 like something dropping. And they all turn around. And of course, the helmet cam view snaps over. And it kind of pans around. And he's like, "What was that?" One of the guards is like, "I don't know. I'm going to go check." And he steps into the doorway, and you just see this sharp shard of metal go whoosh, skewer him right in the torso, lift him off the ground, and then fling him with enough force to drop him down. And the rebel guards go, "Oh my God!" and start opening fire. And you see what looks like a skeletal robot, kind of like the T-600 from Terminator. He just comes around. He's got no skin on him whatsoever. The lasers are just bouncing right off the metal, and he whips up this large cannon and just goes and starts mowing down the soldiers. And as the camera view falls flat and he's laying on the floor, you see blood trickling out in front of it, but you also see the Cooper shipping logo on the crate. And that's where we're going to take our first break.
Damn.
Real quick, would we know what type of droid that was? Or even
No.
if it was a droid?
You guys have never seen it before.
Time to do some research.
Yep, so we're going to take our quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to see if our other player's ready to join us and see what's going on that front. So thank you very much, and tune in for part 2.